In episode 26, Surfacing Hidden Assumptions Fast, we explore how unseen beliefs quietly make organizations fragile. Every plan, model, and projection rests on things we take for granted, ideas so familiar that no one thinks to question them. These assumptions are not malicious. They are mental shortcuts meant to simplify complexity. Yet when the world refuses to cooperate, they reveal themselves as weak links. The faster we can surface them, the more resilient our strategies become. This episode focuses on practical techniques that help teams uncover, test, and refine assumptions before they turn into expensive surprises. A simple but powerful starting point is to ask, what must be true for this plan to succeed? This question reframes confidence as curiosity. It replaces the assumption that things will work with an exploration of conditions required for success. For instance, a launch plan might rely on suppliers must deliver components by week 8, or regulatory approval must be granted before production. Listing these preconditions transforms invisible hopes into explicit checkpoints. The facilitator's role is to make these musts visible so they can be validated or adjusted early. Every uncovered assumption becomes a clue about where fragility hides. Words like always, never, and must serve as linguistic flags for hidden rigidity. When participants use these absolutes, they are often expressing deeply held but untested beliefs. A statement such as, vendors always meet deadlines, or we never miss quality targets, deserves examination, not acceptance. These phrases reveal where confidence may have replaced evidence. Skilled facilitators treat absolutes as entry points for dialogue, asking, when has that been true and when has it not? By hunting for these verbal signals, teams convert blind spots into learning opportunities, reducing overconfidence before it hardens into risk exposure. Different stakeholder groups often hold subtly conflicting narratives about the same project. Executives, engineers, and end users may each describe reality differently. Comparing those narratives side by side reveals assumption gaps that could otherwise go unnoticed. For example, leadership might assume a product feature is nearly complete, while the development team sees 3 months of testing ahead. By aligning stories, teams detect mismatched expectations before they evolve into disputes or schedule shocks. The goal is not to prove anyone wrong, but to expose where understanding diverges. Shared awareness of differences prevents later friction and reinforces collective realism. Dependencies are fertile ground for hidden assumptions, especially single points of reliance. A project may depend on one vendor, one expert, or one system behaving perfectly. Asking, what happens if this link breaks, helps reveal where fragility hides. It also clarifies whether contingencies exist or need to be built. Dependencies often multiply silently as projects grow. Without explicit mapping, they remain invisible until failure cascades. Surfacing them early turns potential crises into manageable scenarios. Teams that regularly examine their dependency chains understand not only what they plan to do, but what must keep working for the plan to survive. Pre-mortems are one of the most efficient tools for exposing optimism. In a pre-mortem, participants imagine that the project has already failed and then explain why. This mental reversal bypasses the politeness and pride that often mask concern. It licenses skepticism in a constructive way. When people describe plausible failure paths, hidden assumptions come tumbling out, those about timing, coordination, or stakeholder behavior. The exercise does not breed negativity, it sharpens foresight. Teams leave the room not demoralized, but equipped with new questions and more resilient plans. A pre-mortem makes imagination an instrument of prevention. Sometimes teams operate on vibes, intuitive feelings about feasibility, morale, or stakeholder intent. Translating those impressions into explicit statements brings them into the analytical light. If someone says, "It just feels risky," the facilitator might respond, "What conditions make it feel that way?" By articulating the intuition, the group can examine underlying data or experiences. Many valuable insights start as gut feelings. What matters is making them discussable. Turning vibes into words moves them from unspoken discomfort to actionable information, bridging intuition with structure without dismissing either. Classifying surfaced assumptions by impact and confidence helps organize the response. High-impact, low-confidence assumptions deserve immediate attention because their failure would be costly and their truth uncertain. Low-impact, high-confidence items can be logged and revisited later. This simple matrix helps teams focus limited time on what matters most. It also visualizes where collective judgment stands, making differences in confidence explicit. When people see their assumptions plotted against potential consequence, they often recalibrate intuitively, realizing which beliefs carry disproportionate risk. Prioritization converts raw discovery into a manageable validation plan. Validation does not have to be elaborate or expensive. The art lies in identifying the cheapest way to gather evidence. A quick pilot, vendor call, or sample survey may confirm or challenge an assumption faster than lengthy analysis. Low-cost tests keep momentum high while preventing over-reliance on speculation. Facilitators encourage creativity in designing these checks, asking, "What's the simplest experiment that would tell us if this holds true?" The emphasis is on agility, learning fast enough to change course while options remain open. Efficiency in testing preserves both time and credibility. Time-boxing validation activities enforces discipline and decision flow. Without time limits, assumption testing can sprawl endlessly, turning prudence into paralysis. By setting clear windows, such as 1 week for data collection or 2 meetings for follow-up, the team ensures momentum. Checkpoints should produce decisions: confirm, adjust, or replace. Even partial results are better than indefinite uncertainty. Time boxing builds a culture where learning has tempo, not just thoroughness. It reminds participants that risk management serves action, not analysis for its own sake. Deadlines keep curiosity productive instead of consuming. Every validation effort yields discoveries, and capturing reversals, when assumptions prove false, is as important as celebrating confirmations. Documenting what changed, why, and how the new belief differs creates a transparent learning trail. Updated assumptions should replace outdated ones immediately to prevent confusion. This living record demonstrates adaptability, showing stakeholders that risk management evolves with evidence. Teams that chronicle reversals not only strengthen current decisions, but also enrich organizational memory for future projects. Each corrected assumption becomes a lesson earned instead of a mistake repeated. Sharing findings without blame language preserves trust and encourages participation. When assumptions fail, it is easy to point fingers, but such reactions discourage honesty. Facilitators should frame outcomes neutrally. We learned that delivery capacity was lower than expected, rather than operations misjudged capacity. This phrasing keeps attention on facts, not fault. A culture that values discovery over defense fosters faster surfacing next time. People only reveal their mistaken assumptions when they believe doing so leads to learning, not embarrassment. Psychological safety sustains transparency, which in turn sustains foresight. Clarity always beats quiet certainty. Surfacing hidden assumptions fast is about replacing illusion with illumination, turning the unknown into the understood. It requires disciplined curiosity, empathetic communication, and willingness to be wrong early. When teams adopt this mindset, they navigate uncertainty with greater stability because their confidence is earned, not assumed. Fragility fades when beliefs are tested, not merely repeated. The risk leader's mission is not to predict perfectly, but to keep reality visible. In the contest between comfort and clarity, clarity wins every time. Thanks for listening. For more audio courses, daily newsletters, and more, please visit baremetalcyber.com.